Imagine stepping outside right now with no jacket, no boots, no gloves, into freezing wind and snow. You'd have maybe an hour before hypothermia set in. Now imagine doing that every single winter for your entire life, with nothing but your own skin and whatever you could scavenge from animals. That was reality for early humans facing their first freezing climates. Humans evolved in warm regions of Africa. Our bodies are built for heat, not cold. Thin skin, minimal natural insulation, and sweat glands designed to cool us down, not keep us warm. When early humans began migrating into colder parts of the world, they were, biologically speaking, completely unprepared. The first line of defense wasn't clothing, it was fire. A group with a reliable fire could survive nights that would otherwise be lethal. But fire alone wasn't enough. You still needed to cover your body, especially while moving, hunting, or sleeping away from the flames. So humans turned to the animals around them. Killing a large, thick-furred animal wasn't just about food anymore. The hide itself became survival equipment. Early humans learned to scrape fat and tissue off animal skins, stretch them, and let them dry into something wearable. It wasn't comfortable, it wasn't waterproof, but it was the difference between living and freezing. Making that hide usable took real skill. Raw animal skin, left untreated, turns stiff, cracks, and rots quickly. Early humans discovered, again through painful trial and error, that working animal brains into the hide, a process called brain tanning, kept it soft and durable. It sounds strange, but nearly every mammal's brain contains just enough natural oils to preserve its own hide. Nature basically built in the tool needed to process itself. Sewing came next. Around 40,000 years ago, humans began using bone needles to stitch hides together into fitted clothing. Not just draped skins, but actual garments shaped to the body. This was a massive leap. Fitted clothing trapped body heat far more effectively than loose hides, and it allowed humans to survive in climates that would have killed earlier, less equipped ancestors. Footwear mattered just as much as anything else. Frostbite could cripple a person permanently, and a crippled person in a hunting society often didn't survive long. Early humans wrapped their feet in fur and hide, sometimes stuffed with dried grass for extra insulation, an ancient, brutally effective version of the modern boot. Layering wasn't a fashion choice, it was survival math. Multiple thin layers trapped warm air between them, far better than one thick layer, and early humans seem to have figured this out independently across multiple cold climate cultures. Long before anyone understood the physics behind why it worked, shelter was just as critical as clothing. Without solid insulated homes, humans built what they could. Animal hide tents, structures made from mammoth bones and skin in especially harsh regions, or shelters dug partially into the ground to use the earth itself as insulation. Sleeping close together as a group wasn't just social, it was thermal survival, sharing body heat through the coldest nights. Diet changed too. Surviving brutal cold requires enormous amounts of calories just to keep the body warm. Fat became especially prized, far more valuable calorically than lean meat. Some evidence suggests cold climate humans specifically targeted fatty animals and fatty tissue, understanding on some level that fat meant survival in a way lean meat simply couldn't match. Not everyone made it. Frostbite, hypothermia, and cold-related illness were constant threats, and the very young and very old were especially vulnerable. Winter wasn't just a season to endure, it was often the deadliest part of the year, a natural filter that early human groups had to be prepared for or face devastating losses. But the humans who survived these brutal winters passed down something invaluable: knowledge. How to tan a hide, how to layer clothing, how to build a shelter that held heat. This knowledge, refined generation after generation, eventually allowed humans to live successfully in some of the coldest, harshest environments on Earth, from the Arctic tundra to the frozen steppes of Ice Age Europe. So the next time you complain about putting on a coat, remember, your ancestors invented that coat from scratch, with nothing but animal skin, bone needles, and generations of trial and error against a climate that wanted them dead.